Oh dear. So this isn't what we wanted to see. I decided that I would start the welding on my brother's car before I filled it all up with fuel, because I'm going to do some angle grinding in here. But it's a bit of a mess there that I need to clean up. But when I started poking this corner, you can see there the wheel arch isn't attached. So I started poking around here, and that's got a lot worse. We knew that was bad. So I started poking around in here, and that has all gone, and the bottom of the sill fell out. So I started poking along here, and I knew it wasn't great, but I didn't think it was that soft. And all this has rotted out up to about here, which is halfway up the driver's door. Luckily, I have got sills, because I bought them from my other Volvo that's in the garage, but they were the wrong ones, and I happen to fit this, so that's great. But what that means now is I can't start angle grinding and cutting all this out on this drive, because the weather's on turn, and I only get an hour or so of daylight in the evening, because I work till 6 o'clock. And then by the time I get out here, it's like 6:30, 7:15. And guaranteed by the weekend, it'll be pissing down with rain. So this video is now going to turn into a tale of two Volvos, because my only option really is to weld the sill on this Volvo so I can put the doors back on and the wing back on and change the headlights on it. I've only got about 3 patches I need to do on the other side. Then this big old boat can go for an MOT. So if I get this welded on here in my lovely dry garage, it means I can just crack on and do it. And I've got this lovely new welder that I've started to play with. And I've got this great new welding mask, which is called a clear view mask. And look how nice it is to look through that. Yeah. None of the, if I compare it with one of the older masks, see the difference. Up. If I can get that to focus. The older masks are all green and horrible to look through, but the clear view one, it's just lovely. So I'm going to get this welded so we can get this out of here, so I can get my brother's Volvo in here, so we can do all the cutting and grinding in here, because it also has the added benefit of keeping the noise down in the street, because I don't really like angle grinding sections off of cars, because I live in a fairly quiet cul-de-sac. So yes, this has now turned into a tale of two Volvos. So I've got this pinned in place because I was test cutting it, and I did make a mistake when I was cutting it, but I've got the extra fillet there that I can weld back in. So I'm not going to order a new one of those because that's just a waste. Same around here, I've got a little bit of fillet to put in. I've got to tie in there, but all that is good. If I pop this off, come on, boing. You can see that the inner sill on this one is really good. That's all fine. I've been making this piece here because that's going to weld in there, because this support piece comes along here, and it, when the outer sill goes on, it'll join there, and then they part ways about here to come up and join that. So I've got to put this in here to come up to there to put the strength back in that section there. Now, new people to the channel will be wondering, why have you got another Volvo in your garage? Well, I bought this one 2 years ago to start working on for my wife, but with everything else I've had going on, it's had to kind of like just be parked here. And I'd cut all the sills off and I'd done it outside, and then it rained solid for like forever. So I brought it in here, and then I started using my old welder, and it was crap, and it got me all a bit miffed. So I treated myself to a new welder, and it's taken me a little while to kind of get back up into wanting to do some welding. And then I've gone and bought other cars in the meantime, because I like buying other cars. Right, that sill is now mostly on. A couple of little bits to finish off. This is my next problem now in the wheel arch. Don't worry, I've got an axle stand there. I need to cut up and along here and then up here and across to get the rot out of here and make up a piece that's going to come down to my new inner sill there and then onto the outer sill here and fold that up, and then I got to cut this by here and make a new lip for that. So angle grinder now, get that cut out. So I've got all that cut in. Had to chase a lot of thin metal there, which kind of blew away. A lot of wax come down behind this, hence the big fat weld. But it's all there now, nice and solid. I've just got this piece in here. I'll cut that to match there, and then I'll put a piece on the side to finish off the lip on the arch. It's the next day. I have got to spend time grinding all these welds down now. And I've also got to cut this little bit off here and shape that. But before I do that, that is my welder, by the way. It's a JYS Easy MIG 160. And I put this off for so long because I just developed a hatred for welding. So now this has been so good. I'm going to stick some stickers on there in a minute. So job for today, ear bangers, face mask. I've got my earphones there. I'm going to put some music on because I've got hours and hours of grinding this. But this car's been in here so long. Look at all the dust that's on the roof. I think that's asbestos. Am I going to die? Probably. Right. Ear bangers, things, stickers on welder, let's get on with it. Spent a lot of money on these stickers. Timu specials. Wow, I was going to say, can I get them on that are wrinkled, but they came pre-wrinkled. Will that fit on there? Oh, where's going on in now? I keep telling myself that I could wrap a car. But here I am, struggling to put a sticker on. Oh, well, that'll do. Gotta stick one of them on. Boop. That was easy. Oh, right then. Let's get the angle grinder out. Alright then, let's cut this off. Change the disc. Right. Annoyingly, I can't listen to music and record at the same time. Oh, it's going up my sleeve. Minute. Does now look the world difference. I'm quite happy with that. Are you laughing at? She's laughing at me talking to myself in the garage. Right, I'm starting to put all the interior back together, but before I put it all back together, I'm blasting in everywhere I can get access to the panels I've just put in. I'm just blasting loads of primer in there. They got these little sections everywhere that you can pop out. There it is. Ready to go back together. Not the best paint job in the world, but it's done. Right, I'm starting to put the interior back together. So the next fun and games is working out what all these bits are. I mean, like, what's that? And what are these shims off? So that's going to be fun. Back seat looks easy. Seatbelt is starting to go in. But of course I didn't label any of this because that was Future Steve's problem. And right now, Future Steve thinks past Steve's a bit of a dick.
See, I feel like I should be saying, oh, thank you for all the nice things you've said about me, guys. Don't you dare leave that in there, though.
I think they were hinting at rude stuff.
No, that's just you.
Right. Get you a Steve Machine's bikini.
No, nobody wants that. Where does this piece go?
Don't worry about that piece.
Oh, okay.
I just want you to get... The top one is probably easier.
Yeah.
Because once one is in...
Lift it a tiny bit. And...
And look at that, starting to look like a car.
There's one on here. No, it's not. That's a spider's web. It's pretty. I'm in the way. Always. Right, what's next?
Next is I got to bolt the wing on, and then I got to bolt the headlight on, and then I got to take the other headlight off, change the back of it, get the battery in it, drive the car out of there.
Get this out of there.
Yeah, cut and weld the other side.
By tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a dreamer. Not allowed to.
Look, you can say you built it now.
Yeah.
Right, the joys of too many cars is we've got to move cars around all the time. Right, we need to get this one swung out onto the road. And then we need to get the wagon out.
Yeah.
Which is going to be tricky. That should drive out. And then we have to pull this one up into the Dewberry Firkin into the garage. And then we'll stick the van by here, and then yours at the end. And then I can do the welding down there.
So you're going to weld outside?
Yeah, because this won't fit in the other way around.
Yeah.
Because it won't go under the bench. Right, so...
I'm on brakes still.
Yeah, so it should roll down.
Yeah.
Because all the brakes are free.
I can't... Right.
Is there keys in the ignition?
No.
Right, we need the keys.
Yeah, so you don't get steering lock.
Yeah.
See, I know some stuffs. Not as much as I'd like to. Oh, shit.
Do you know where he put them?
No idea.
That's where I found them. I'd have thought then he'd taken them home with him. I think it's that one. Right, it's a really long front, right?
And I can't see anything because both mirrors are folded in.
So you need to turn the steering wheel that way. Not too much, right? Start going down. The brake should work. Are the brakes working? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Keep going at that. Comes out of the garage. This is the other side. It's a lot worse than I realised. That down there. And there's a patch there as well. So, plan for this. I'm not going to take it all off like I did with the other one. I'm going to cut this close to the centre pillar and close to the front pillar, and then chop the panel, because doing a full sill was a pain in the arse. So I'm just going to do it in 2 sections. Now, my mate has said there's a slot tomorrow morning for him to do an MOT. Now, it's 7 o'clock Friday evening. So if I can get this cut out in the next hour and cleaned up, so I'm not making too much noise later, I can cut the shapes in the garage and then weld it all together tonight. And then the other things that are wrong with it is I got to change the headlights and I got to fix a high beam indicator on the dashboard. Other than that, then it's fingers crossed MOT ready. So I'm going to crack on. Right then. I've just got to get on with this. Put my ear bangers on. And cut this out and see how bad it is. Oh, it's the wrong disc on there. Good start. Right, I don't have a key for that thing anymore, so I got long nose pliers. A couple of discs. Oh, so if anybody else has got an angle grinder, I keep losing the keys. Long nose pliers always does a trick in there. Oh. There we are. Right then, less haste, more speed, innit?
That's the one.
Because A&E on a Friday night around here is not good. Okay, it goes all the way back to here, so I'm going to cut it there. Oh dear. So this isn't what we wanted to see. Because that makes this challenge a lot harder now. Because the inner sill is gone. And I can see through the inside of the car. So this is what we're dealing with there. This is a rest plate that goes on the floor. But that inner sill has gone all the way along there. So that's going to be cut out. The easiest way for me to do that is to take the carpet up and get that seat out, which is only 4 bolts, it's not too bad. Well, I think it's fair to say that the rust monster has well and truly beaten me this weekend, because there's 2 ways to fix this. You can see the floor is gone as well. So I've got 2 options to fix this. I can either just cut some sheets of metal and cut a section at the floor and just weld a section in, and the same on the inner sill, and then the same for the other bits there, and then weld an outer sill on. Or I can do it properly which is order an 8-inch section of floor. Volvo do an 8-inch section that runs all the way along. They do an inner sill. Yeah, it's certainly not making the MOT slot in the morning. Right, so I have peeled everything back so we can have a bit more of a look. See, all the floor is rusty in there, but it's only really rusty up to this circle. That just needs a clean, it's just dirty. You can see in there, it's pretty solid past that point. And then it comes up to, just up to the edge of the seatbelt there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up here, and along there, back a bit, down there, along there, like that. And then to there, cut that off, cut the floor out of the way. I'm going to drill all these and get the spot welds off. And I've got this nice bit of metal here off my mate James, and I'm going to shape that to make the inner sill. So I'm going to get all this floor out of the way, make the inner sill, get that in there, and then put all the outer sill on. I got to cut this away here, around there, to make this piece here. And I've discovered this on the bottom of the A-pillar, so I'll cut that out there and patch that. Then once I've done that and got all that back together, then I'll just go underneath and patch the floor. That's the plan. Now, I was going to buy all the right parts, but that'd be 160 quid, 200 quid. I don't have that. And it would also mean I wouldn't be able to carry on with doing this for a fortnight. And I just want to get it done now. There's a little bit of a hole by there as well. So we'll trim that back. Right, so I'm going to get cutting. And I'll bring you back once it's all off and ready to weld. Right, I would say it's starting to look better, but I'd be lying. I'm going to clean this up now to get the spot welds out. My least favourite tool on a grinder. If you know, you know. Got scars up my arm from cuddling one of those. Oh, just laid down a drill. It's like a calendar pose. Would you buy that calendar? I wouldn't. My mate James kindly lended me this bender. I don't know how well it's going to deal with this with a lip on it, but we'll give it a go. I've never used one before. So I've measured this all up on the car. Just tighten that down as much as it wants to go. And this is to make the inner sill. Which is about there. Nice, see if it fits. Right, I'm doing it in sections. So it's going to go there. Looks like we've got that right. That's nice. So now I need to just trim that up to fit in. And then I've got another piece to make there. It's bloody typical, isn't it? I've got all this set up, ready to start tacking up, and I was going to mark on there, trim it all down, get it ready. And I've run out of gas. The size of that bottle. Some knobhead forgot to turn the gas off. Wonder who that was. Ba-ba-ba. And it's Saturday. Everyone's fucking shut. And it's my holiday. Nobody's open till Tuesday. Don't laugh, you cry, you know. So I managed to pick up a bottle of, oh, don't focus on my hand, bottle of CO2 off my mate James, and some stainless to make sills. That is the ugliest welding I've ever done. Actually, that's a lie, but it's close to it. Welding stainless and CO2, not my forte. I need to practice that, but it's solid. It's not going anywhere. It's got good penetration on the other side. And now what I got to do is I've put the seatbelt plate back in place and I've coloured a circle there. I take this back out, and then I need to drill a hole through there, and I've saved the bolt. I got to cut that off there and weld it onto there, and then that's the inner sill done. And then I'm going to start on the outer sill. Not decided what I'm going to do about this. Really, I should put a piece back in like that, put a bit of strength into it, but we'll see. Well, I've drilled the hole, but managed to slip and punch that. Oh. What's it they say? It's not a proper job till you've bled on it. Right, I've welded in a brace there to come down off the A-frame. I don't think most people bother putting these in. I've just made this out of a bit of scrap steel. I'm going to cover this in paint and then offer this up against it, and that'll leave a mark inside there, and I'll drill a couple of holes to spot weld this to that, and that just puts a bit of strength back into this A-pillar because there's not much there. There we go, that looks better for a bit of paint. There's our paint mark. So I'll drill 2 spot weld holes through there so we can just spot weld it back to this. Bit of strength back there. Right, now's the fun bit of tacking all this in. I've got it basically in, but getting all these bits lined up so I can start welding it in. I've taped this onto my mask because the sunlight earlier, not so much now, was coming down in between and shining on the screen, so I couldn't see anything. Right, let's get this tacked in. Where's my gloves? Right, where's my screwdriver? I literally just went and got a big screwdriver so I could bend the panel into place. Saw that one. Oh, it's in there. There it is. I got it. I'm not very good at one-hand welding. Kinda. The art of chasing metal that likes to explode for that. It's the problem with welding thin old stuff. Right then, let's get these bottom spots into place. I've got a bit of a confession to make. I just run at wire, doing that bit of welding there. I thought it's all right. I got a pack of welding wire in the garage because I know I had a pack of no gas wire and gas wire. And I went into the garage. I've only got the no gas. So I go, no, I had one of each. And then it dawned on me. I went down to the basement, looked at my no gas welder, because last time I used it, I couldn't get it to weld for shit. I put normal wire in it. So now I've taken it out to my no gas welder and put it in this welder, and now I can carry on. What a plonker. After many hours of swearing and getting burnt, I mean literally hours and hours, ugh, this thing now has flaws. It's not the best welding I have ever done, but found the odd extra patch that I needed to weld in, but you know, it's got flaws. Oh, now the welding's done, I need to open this up. So there's just these clips on the side holding the glass on, which is awesome. And I pop this onto my carpet if I scratch the shit out of it. Yeah, see my fancy brown carpet. Cheapest one they had because I got 3 kids. And now this should come away. Oh, there we go. And that is our that good one. Right, let me go wash this. Just gonna get the old plastic bits off. They are so brittle. They just smash stuff. So nice shiny new one. And the way it goes in is these have to pop into those. Somehow or other. Oh, that's it. One in. Oh, you have to put a bit of pressure on them. Oh, 2 in. Oh, 3 in. Right. There's that back in. Glass goes back on. Like that. And we got a bag of nice clips somewhere. There they are. Nice bag of new clips. Oh, they pop on nice and easy. Whew. One shiny headlight. Right, the next thing for me to do is we don't have the telltale for the lights is not working. So if I turn the lights on, let me get the key. Oh. Where'd I put the key? There it is. Oh, ouch. If I put the lights on, I've got the telltale down there. The lights are working, but the telltale doesn't work. So I need to get this cluster out. And apparently, we just pull these off, which is quite scary. Let that one come off okay. Pop this panel off. And there's 2 screws there. And the same on this side. Just pop that off. I've just got an empty one there. I think of a dial to put in there. Same there. And now, where did I put the Phillips screwdriver? Bugger. It's outside. Things would be much quicker if like tools magically appeared in my hands. I need an assistant. Right then. 4 screws. And that's all. Yeah, meant to be nice and clear. So we got a dead bulb. Right, that's the bulb change. Let's pop the lights on. And there we are. We have got an indicator. As is typical of these things, I just put the interior back together so I could take this down for an MOT after checking everything on the MOT list. And my white motor stopped working. So I've checked the fuse. The fuse is good. So what I'm looking at now is to see if I'm getting any signal to the white bar. So I'm putting it on 20 volts. On this yellow one down here, it should always show 12. Yep, we got 12 volts there. Can you see that? Put that there. Stay. Put it there. There we got 12. Oop. And I've got the wipers on. So there we are, we got 12 on there as well. So this wiper motor is dead. I've tried hitting it. That didn't work. So I've undone it to take it off. What I also did was I run 12 volts directly to these just in case there's something wrong with the clip near the switch. So, right then. Let's see if we can take this apart. 2 fillet screws holding this on. Because this is the best place to do it, you know, over the body, you know, over the engine where I can just lose everything. But my bench is in such a mess that I could probably lose it all there anyway. Take the one clip out. I'm hoping that this is just rusty in it and I can just file it all down and put it back together. Because I don't want to buy another motor. There's those out. Ugh. Well, disappointingly, that's not in a mess. That's quite gutting. That's all nice and clean. Just going to clean. But it shouldn't matter because there's only carbon deposits on them. Because if you remember when I did 9 to 8, the commutators were all gummed up with carbon, so it wasn't making a wasn't allowing a disconnect between each of the copper plates, because there's got to be a gap between them. That's how it works. Right, let's just put this back together. Before I put it back together, I'm going to give these a quick rub. Is that a seized end bearing? I'm not sure if that's a bearing up in there, but it's seized. Let's have a look. Right, just try and put this back in and spin him round for a little bit and then I'll drain it out. Right, honestly, that's the best thing I've ever had of Temu. I think if I say Temu enough, they'll sponsor me. It's about the right level, isn't it? Oh! Haha! Did you hear that? It worked. Let me hook this all back up. Okay, moment of truth. Have we fixed it? Is ignition on? Way. Right, it's MOT day. It's a bit wet and rainy. I'm going to get this down to the MOT station now, and then fingers crossed we get an MOT. And hopefully they don't laugh at my welding too much, because it's not the best welding I've ever done. Well, it's 4 hours later, and I have in my hand a refusal of MOT. So what did it fail on? Major defects. Windscreen wiper does not clear the windscreen effectively, near side front. the windscreen wipers rotted a little bit. Just got to put a new pair on there. Exhaust system insecure near side rear. There was corrosion around the exhaust and I didn't notice it. And on the way to the MOT, it's done that. And on the way back from the MOT, it's done that. So I've got a section here that hopefully I can quickly make a new piece and get that on there. Side repeater not working, near side front. Well, that's my fault. When I put the wing back on, I forgot to connect the wires up. I've just connected them up, that works now, so that's off the list. And headlamp aim too high near side front. Well, looking at it, on the reflector lens, you've got the little white adjuster plastic things. They get quite brittle, and that has snapped, so it's not adjusting. And Selena has 3D printed me one, which I've got here. There, look at that. These are £2.40 to buy, plus about £2.50 postage, and they'd get you in 2 days. Selena printed this one off Thingiverse, and I think it cost less than a penny. That's amazing. So I'm going to get that on now to get that one done. The windscreen wipers, the garage has got plenty of spare windscreen wipers, so they're going to change them for me. And then the monitor and repair, if necessary, the advisories. Spare tyre is a bit knackered. The fuel pipes are looking corroded front to back. They're solid, but they've got surface rust on them. I got a crack on the number plate. One of my seat belts is twisted, so I'm going to take that off and sort that out now. It's not one I've had off, so it's always been like it. A strut pin or bush is worn. I'll do that another time. There's a minor leak on the exhaust in the middle. He said I could just need a weld an inch on the exhaust pipe. Cracked tyres, well the tyres are from 2007. They're pricing me up a full set of new tyres. There's no way I was going to drive it round on these tyres other than taking it for an MOT anyway. And there's a bit of rust on the driver's side rear arch. I knew that was there, but I knew it wasn't a fail, so I haven't tackled that yet. That's something to do another day. I got a slight wheel bear in play in the near side front, so I'm just going to nip that up and it should be fine. And brake pipe corroded, covered in grease. There was another one, I missed it. Oh yeah, seatbelt anchorage area prescribed corroded but not excessive, and that's where the driver's side rear seatbelt is bolted on the inner arch. That's a bit corroded, so I'm going to wire brush that up and treat it, and then get this back down for the morning. So let's crack on and finish these. That's not too bad, is it? You know, I'm quite happy with that. In fact, I'm really happy with that. Right then, let's get these fixed.
Bye.
Here's my exhaust. Oh. Right, modified this pipe. Now slides into there. Oh. Sits there nice. I'm just going to get under there now and tack him on, just weld him on. Right, there we go, that's all nice and tight, all welded up. Right, this is going to be fun. I've got the broken one out, it was this corner. And now I'm going to try and get this one in. Right, there's that on there. And now, oh, is it on? Yeah, that's adjusting. I'll be careful because it spins a bit, so it's not as tight as the original. So I need to put a blob of glue on there, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this on there. Right, there we go. Hopefully that's that fixed. I'll leave that to dry for a bit. Next thing for me is I'm just going to clean that up and see how rusty it is, and then give it a bit of a spray for now. And I'm going to undo the bolt, because because I want to untwist the seatbelt. Right, I scraped it all back. It was really solid under there, just muck and surface. So I've treated it and sprayed it with TerraSeal stuff. And in here I've untwisted the seatbelt. There's like 3 or 4 twists in it. So that's good. Now I'm just going to put the light back in. And we're done. Right, I nipped the centre cap off and tightened up that bolt. So that should be another advisory done. Let's put this nice little cap back on. There we go. Hopefully another one off the list. Can you believe that I've put this light back in and I've forgotten to put these bits back on? So I'll get that back off and get them on. Nightmare. Right then, let's go through this sheet. Windscreen wipers, they're going to fix that for me. Exhaust system and skewer, done. Side repeater not working, done. Headlight aim, so the adjuster's been done, so they can fix that over there. It's going to have new tyres. Fuel part we haven't touched. Registration plate, that can stay as it is. Seatbelt twisted. Seatbelt anchorage prescribed corroded. Well, I've cleaned it up and painted it, so hopefully that'll come off there. We're not doing anything with the strut. Not doing anything with the minor leak for now. Tyres are cracked. Well, we're changing those, so hopefully that's done. Tiny bit on the inner arch. We're not going to do that. Wheel bearing, we've done that. And the brake pipe corroded, we haven't done that. So let's put crosses next to what we haven't done. So hopefully we'll get this back tomorrow with only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fairly simple advisories. Oh, stop looking at my ass.
I'm not. I can't reach.
I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to them.
Oh.
Perverts.
This is nice.
Well, I say it's only taken me 2.5 years, but passed this MOT today. And not only that, today is our, well, tomorrow is our 22nd wedding anniversary. So what better way to celebrate than laying in the back of a Volvo, eating takeaway chips, looking at a nice sea view, and just chilling.
You forgot my cocktail.
Oh yeah, I got a cocktail for you.
Right, now,
look, I came prepared. What would you like, dear? You've got Miami peach.
Sounds nice. Pina colada,
Pina
please.
colada, but hang on, or passion fruit martini.
Pina colada, please.
Pina colada.
Yeah.
I dropped this one in the shop, so it might explode. Nope. There you go.
Thank you very much.
I'm driving, so I'm not drinking, so I'm on the Cherry Relentless. And I need my energy later for pushing the car home, probably.
It's all right, I'll help. Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. And welcome back to the road, old Volvo.
Well done, girl.
So, cheers for following along. If you enjoying seeing me waste my life and ruin my free time welding rotten old cars together, then please do subscribe. Take it easy. Ah, dear. What a lovely view.
This is
though.
remarkably comfortable.
It is, no, we could live in this. A guy just pulled up next to us and he thought that we were living in it. He said, "Is that your camper?"
Yeah, that's more of a reflection on how scruffy we are
Yeah.
now than anything
It needs
else.
a mop and a polish. We have to do the mop and the polish. What a lovely view.
I do
To a
like
chip.
Oh, my seagull buddies are all gone. It would be worth the carnage to get one of them in here.
No, it wouldn't. It'd shit on my new mat. Cost me 10 pence off Temu, that did.
If I can coax a seagull in here and it shits on your rug, I'll give you 10 pence back.
I don't know if it's worth 10 pence.
What, the rug or the...
The stress.